And hello everyone, hope everybody's doing well, and welcome back to another stream. It's been a bit, but today we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I've got it up and running here. Had it for a few weeks, didn't know if I would stream with it, just because my internet isn't the greatest, but we are getting fiber optics soon, so that's a plus. But so far, it seems to be, I did a test flight yesterday, just unlisted live stream, and just kind of checked it out, see how it ran, and it seemed to run just fine. So we're going to go ahead and do a flight with it today. And we're flying a special airplane today. We're flying the Lear 35, known to be one of the more complex airplanes out there. It's two-pilot rated airplane. It's known to be one of the more difficult airplanes to fly, very complex and everything. It's got high cruising ceiling. We're gonna be up at a flight level 430 today. Should be fun. We'll see if we make it with our cargo. We're gonna do cargo with it today. But I do have the QRH with me, the real QRH, for a Lear 35 and 36. Quick reference handbook here. That does have a checklist, so I'll be using that checklist for the flight today. Should be a nice flight, though. We're looking at about 2 hours, 11 minutes. And we had 43,000 feet today. We might need to drop it down if we can't reach that. We'll see how it works, though. But this thing's basically a rocket ship. Kind of looks like a fighter jet in a way, too. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, go ahead and pull our covers off. There we go. And we'll get the door open, and then we'll pull the chock too. Alright, so here we are in the Learjet. It's pretty old. You can see here, this is a 70s airplane. Quite old, but should be fun. It's got pretty basic instruments. Got a GNS 530 and a 430 in here as our GPS today, but still pretty capable airplane. So let's go ahead and do this. Utility page. We don't need the GPU. Actually, we'll use the ground power unit just because we got all of our the flight plan putting into the 530 is kind of a pain, so we'll run that. Open cargo nets. We'll keep that off. Alright. Let's go aircraft performance, and we'll go ahead and run this here. That is good. Alright. So we're just going to say there's going to be 2 pilots today. And 75 for the 2. We'll have nobody in the jump seat, quote unquote. Cargo. Probably looking at going to take 2,000. 200. Yep, we'll call that good. And then we need approximately 3,000 pounds of fuel here. We need 3,700. Take 2,900 just in case. Do 840 on the fuselage. That looks good. We'll go ahead and load it. Load immediately. I'm curious what our CG is looking at here for takeoff. I find that this thing really likes a lot of nose up trim. 7.3, yeah. It'll be good though. Okay. So we got that all loaded up there. We'll go ahead and get the door closed and we'll get ready to go. Let's get our cargo netting up first. I think we got cargo in the back, right? Yeah, we do. Awesome. We'll go utility page. Put our cargo nets on. Another cool thing this airplane has is custom failures. I just have it set to the real time, which is awesome. Got some avionics options. I'm just running the GNS 530 and everything. But yeah, let's go and get the cabin door closed. Go ahead and pull up on that. Slide that over, and we will close the cabin door. Alright, cabin door is closed. Alright, I got QRH here. Let me find the first Exterior pre-flight, we're going to skip that. We're not going to do a pre-flight on the exterior. It's a simulator. I'm not going to worry too much. Right wing, left wing. Cabin pre-flight, power on landing gear. This is 35. Power on landing gear, lever down. Okay. Let's go ahead and run our power on checklist. Alright. Power on checklist. Landing gear switch is in the down position. I'm going to remove the yokes to make this a little easier. Is down. Battery switch is on. Fuel quantity. We got almost 4,000 pounds. That looks good. Pilots have static stall vent temperature probe heat. Pitot statics. I think we're just supposed to run both. I'm not sure on that. I might need to ask my brother on that. Exterior lights. We'll go ahead and get our nav light on. And battery switches can go back off now that we've technically ran those checks. Alright. Cabin pre-flight baggage is secured. Cabin air damper as required. Emergency exits are secure. Passenger briefing is complete. Alright. Before starting engines, here we go. Control lock is stowed. Safety shoulder harnesses are secure. Flight controls. Just do a little. Make sure I feel correct there. Yep, that feels good. Alright. We got that. Seatbelt shoulder harness controls, oxygen system, passenger oxygen mask, all that stuff. Just gonna leave it for stuff. Circuit breakers are all in. Emergency battery ISO, check and on. That powers up that. We should get 3 green. That's good. That means that's working. Panel avionics off or set. Fuel computers are on. Anti-skid is on. Alternate static is closed. Bleed air is on. Pitch trim. Good. Primary. Jet pumps are on. Pilot altimeters are normal, and we'll set it to local QNH altimeter. 29 or 9 or 6. 9 or 6. 9 or 6. Batteries checking on. We are hooked up to a GPU, so I'll put that in standby. Inverter, and do primary and secondary, check in on. Emergency lights if installed, test and arm. We do not have emergency lights on this airplane. Alright. Alright. System pressure, hydraulic pressure. We'll go ahead and prime that up a little bit, get the hydraulic up. This should take a few seconds. And it was 299 or 6 or something. There's 6. Alright, looks good. And we'll go ahead and emergency air pressure check. Parking brake. Parking brake is set. Emergency brake handle. Hydraulic pump is off. Annunciator light test is good. Warning system, that's our ice detection, fire detect. So we'll run through all of these. Good. Alright, that looks good. Thermometer, stick pusher / mock warning check. I don't know how to do the stick pusher test, so I'm gonna just leave that the way it is. Because I'm not too sure about that. Alright. Mac trim test, all warning test, standby gyro. We will go ahead and uncage. Pressurization, left and right bleed air. So I do have keys bound here. Right and left bleed air is on. Cabin air will be off. Here it is, cabin air off. Auto man switch as desired. We're going to put it in auto. Cabin control cruising altitude, we're going to be at 43 today, I think it was. Let me see. Yeah, 43. That's a... three. There we go. Cabin control, cruise altitude, rate selector as desired. We're gonna keep it in that position there. That's good. In normal operation, cabin temperature control as desired. We're gonna go cool, and then we're gonna flip it on. I don't think it's gonna do anything unless we have the engine on. It's 88 degrees in here, so we'll keep it on cool there to cool down the cabin. And before starting checklist, this is just everything that we've already done, pretty much just before start portion of it. Yaw damper, yaw damper, check. Yaw damper, we'll go ahead and pop that on. Closed. Cross-flow valve is closed. Standby pumps checking off. Fuselage valve if installed. Closed. Fuel jettison is off. CVR. I don't think that stuff works now. Drag chute handle is stowed. Takeoff data. Alright, let's put our takeoff data in here. We're going to do flaps 20, synchronized from the simulator. We'll calculate 124, 133. 33 and 164 for the flap retraction. 164. Alright, that looks pretty good. We are going to be 94%. 94% there. I have that set in our N1 reminder. Alright, that's our takeoff data is set. And then we're going to have our engine start checklist next, but we're going to go ahead and start running our 7.3 on the trim. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and do our autopilot radio and avionics master, so we can start programming the FMS, or our Garmin here. So that's going to start powering up. And we're going to go standby on that, and our squawk code today is 2165. Let's get those aligning. Flight plan, alright. We are at Key West. We'll enter. Alright, we're going to be departing runway 27. It's going to be the Buffalo 1, runway 27 to Mattock. We'll load. We'll go clear, yes. And then from Multic, it is the Quebec 87 airway, which is where I hate this thing, but there it is. That's aligned. Awesome. Zero. This is the long, tedious process. The one thing I hate about these GPS. J. Ross. Alright, finally. That took forever. Now we can go procedures, select an arrival. There, and then we'll go Richmond. Yep, and then we'll do that, and then it's gonna be the by naval. And then we'll load, and then we're gonna expect 2-0. So we'll approach runway 20. It's gonna be the RNAV, it looks like. That's all we got. So we'll go procedure, approach, RNAV. Zulu, runway 20. From there we go. Alright, that looks great. Alrighty. And then I think I can grab... No, this thing's got TS on it. There we go. Traffic. Alrighty. ADSB. On. Alright. Let's go ahead and run our engine start checklist. Cabin door is secure. Fuel computers are on. Air conditioning is off. Aux heat. I think we have aux heat, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work. Batteries are on. 24 volts minimum. We are good. We got above that. Inverters are on. Parking brake is set. Hydraulic is off. Beacon light is on. Thrust levers are cut off. Engine start. We're going to go ahead and start number 2. Start. Rotation. we're gonna go and get our generator connected. That should auto disconnect that. Yep, it did. Alright. Spoilers, check. Good deploy on spoilers. Flaps, 20. Hydraulics are check. We're well within, and we got emergency air. Yep. Other engine, and start engine 1. I don't know why that's showing it being in standby. Alright, we got 2 good starts. Generators are on. Other engine, batteries are charging. So we'll check our volts here. Amps are good. We got good amps. Everything there looks good. Volts and amps are checked. Before taxi checklist, avionics are set. Radar is. We're going to keep it off for now, because there's no standby mode. Circuit breakers are in. Coffee oven, we do not have. Fuel control governor, check. Windshield heat. We'll give it a quick purge. Alright, windshield heat is checked. Lights are as required. Anti-skid is on. Lights are out. No anti-skid light. No smoking and fasten seatbelt sign. Parking brake release. There we go. A little test. Yep, parking brakes are good. Alright, taxiing before takeoff. Brakes and steering. Brakes are checked. Steering is on, and I need to launch the thing for the flight controls. Let me do this real quick. Universal thing. There we go. Because I need those to do my most of my controls on my yoke. Yep, those feel good. Brakes and steering is checked. Fuel panels configured. Thrust reversers, if installed, we need armed and quick test. We'll do that here. Reversers are checked. Flight controls. Our check. Flight instruments are checked. Takeoff data. We got our N1 flap speeds, 94 for the M1. V1 is 124, 133. Takeoff distance, reviewed engine instruments are checked. Volts are good. Nav equipment is set. Radar is as required. Spoilers are retracted. Flaps are 20. Trims are 3 set. We've got our 7.3, 2 neutrals, pressurization is set, cabin air is on, get that AC kick in there. Got that set to cool all the way over, that looks good. Cabin air control set, and anti-ice system is, we're not going to need it. Electric windshield heat if installed on. Do we have electric windshield heat on this thing? I don't think so. Cell, static, stab wing heat. Yeah, I don't think we've got. Yeah. Okay. Let me get our CTAP frequencies. Uh, 118.2. I'm gonna give myself a radio check. That's okay, that's extremely quiet. Test. Testing. Let's see. Mic volume. Test. There we go. That's good. Radio check. Yep. Okay, we're good now. All right. R1 will be 121.5. 121.5. There we go. We're set. Command control everything. We're gonna hit Toga. That's gonna go ahead and, or excuse me, we're gonna hit go around. That's gonna go ahead and give us our needles. Departure procedure. We need to brief it real quick. Our nav, runway 1 departure. We can fly to nav mode. It looks like. Yep. So we'll definitely do nav on departure. So it's gonna be on departure. Top altitude is out of time by ETC. So we'll call it 19. $19,000. It'll be runway heading initially, and then we will be on a right turn. I'll go nav mode. It's gonna be a 273 on our course. 3 heading bug. We'll go ahead and bring that around. There we go. All right, everything is set. We are all good to go. Let's go ahead and taxi out. All right, got the charts. Tax lights are on. And we're taxiing runway 27. US traffic, start check 18, taxiing runway 27 by Alpha, West. Yep. Alrighty, so air conditioning, probably. Yep, let's definitely bring it down. We're down to 79 degrees. Gonna take a bit to cool, but just have to make do with it. Maybe if I throw it in manual, we can really get it to cool down. All right. Out to the northeast today. Where is that? But all right. Runway lineup, bridge release, transponder on POV tunnel. So, all right, here we go. We are ready. Northeast. US traffic, start check 18, gonna be departing runway 27 to the northeast up to 19,000 west. Alright, here we go. Parking brake is released. We got our lights on. Precog on. Transponder squawk mode Charlie. We're gonna go stall warning on. Pitot heat on. We're gonna keep windshield off because that thing tends to overheat pretty quickly. Files clear. Clear. There we go. We're looking for 94 on the thrust rating. 27 is verified. We're going to go static here. Hold the brakes. We're going to spool all the way up to 94. We'll call that good there. And release. Airspeed's alive, nose wheel steering off. Hopefully this works, it should. V1, retake. There we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Pitch sync. There we go. And nav mode. There it is. And that right turn. We're going to go ahead and go autopilot. Yaw damper is engaged. Yep, it's on. Okay, it's on. There we go. Autopilot on. And we'll go ahead and keep that acceleration going. Pull it back to 91. Start to accelerate, so we can start getting those flaps up. Max at 250 knots there. Keep that acceleration. There it is, and we will go. Flaps are up. That'll also let us really start accelerating to 250 knots. There it goes. And we'll climb, maintain flight level 430. 430, and we'll run our after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, landing gear up, yaw damper on, reversers are off. Ignitions we had off for takeoff, so that's fine. Pressure releases, check landing lights are off. Recog light is off. Hydraulic pressures are checked. Angle of attack is garage checked. The two looks the same. Alright. US traffic, start check 18s, departed runway 27, passing 5,100, climbing flight level 430, going to be departing out to the northeast. Key West. Right, we need to really start pushing that down there, so that we can try getting that acceleration. There we go. Performance, let's see. Climb performance, 2 engines, P19. Let's see if I can figure this out. P19, weights. There we go. 2,000 pounds, 17. Let's get our weight here in a second. Go indicated airspeed for pitch. Alright, we are. How happy are we? 16,000 pounds. 16,600. We'll round it up. 17. Pressure altitude, we are passing 10,000. ISA, look at 20 degrees. 139 pounds of fuel. to be. Alright. Back to our checklist. Passing 10,000. No smoking sign can go off. Pressurization is looking good. We got that on, that on. That's good. Alright. Pressurizing. Temperature's coming down pretty well. Alright, got the lights on. Just focus that off. There we go. Now that we're passing 10,000, let's see if there's like a climb speed. Should be at. Performance. A climb speed on these 250 up to 230 it looks like. Okay. We'll do our max continuous temperature. We're looking at 9 degrees, about 10, 20, 95. And we're past 18 already, so we'll go ahead and go barrow. 29R2. 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 18,000. Altimeter is 29R2. Recog light is off. Air conditioning off if applicable. We'll go ahead and turn it off. Passing actions, check emergency pressure. Alright, looks good. Alright, so we have gotten up above that. Just look at QRH here. We're gonna go ahead and run our 350 here, because why not? We're already at almost about to reach 35, so we already have the air conditioning off. Crew and passenger oxygen masks donned at 41. We're not going to do that, because why would we? Let me check our weight, and then we're going to be cruising, I think, 0.77, 75. We're looking for, probably going to be end up more at 7, but let's see, we're going to be at 16,300. So we'll round it down, and I'm estimating probably around -10. That's at least what the chart goes to. Or maybe more at -20, but that'll be fine. So we're going to be looking for about 1,060 pounds hour to maintain a point. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and get Mac on, and let's pitch it up and try and maintain 0.7 in the climb. So we'll aim for about 0.7 in the climb here. Put the rest of our way up. But we'll aim for right around there. That'll be fine. Mach. We got bugged out there for a sec. There we go. actually, we climbed well above our altitude there. I realized I did not have this thing set to arm. That is a big issue with the Lear jets. Very easy to climb above if you forget to arm your altitude. Should be fine though. Caught it. Not trying to get the 450. Even though completely capable in this airplane, but not trying to do that. Pull the power back so we don't overspeed. Alright, now we got our cruise checklist available. So, cruise checklist, pressurization, check, and normal. Yep, we are seeing about 1,000 feet, looks like. Fuel management as required instruments. Cabin temperature is set 64 in here. That's pretty good. We'll go ahead and check our fuel here. Tanks are empty. Our fuselage looks pretty good. We will move some of that during the flight though. This thing is accelerating still. There we go. just gonna have a little look here and how we are looking up here in KRIC. Doing pretty good there. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some fuel checks here. Whoa, what happened? No GPS position. Lost GPS. Alright, well, we lost. Oh, it's reacquiring. There we go. Reacquired now. See that we lost it though for a minute. We're gonna empty that over. And then we'll also have a look at our arrival. The Deuce 5 arrival. It's gonna be 4,000 at Deuce, so we'll go VNAV. Oops. Five minutes. Actually, we're gonna aim for 2,000 feet a minute. $31. Alright guys, let's have a little look here. We're getting close to the top of descent. 3 minutes, 4,000 feet, 2,000 feet a minute. Coming up on, let's have a little look at the weather at Richmond. 29902, it's a little windy, 200. At 18 gust and 23, 29902 on the altimeter. Temperature is going to be 24. Elevation is 68. Alright, calculate landing 135, 127. 5, there we are. And we'll grab our got CTAF, which is 121.1. Into 1.1. Got that there. We'll need to make sure I click over into the other mode there. So descent checklist, windshield has required, window aux defog is inoperative, cabin control field elevation 168 feet, so we will do right around there for field elevation. Cabin control anti-ice as required, altimeter are going to be 29902, so we won't need to change that recalculation. That's for our 18,000 feet transition. Alright. We'll be starting down here in a minute. Back there. Awesome. Alrighty, and we're gonna do L2 select, pull it back a little bit. Vertical speed is set. Alright, we're holding a consistent rate of descent. And we are on our way down. 675 on the descent will work fine. guys, we're coming up on our transition altitude here. We'll get the checklist ready. Transition level, flight level 180, or transition level checks altimeters. I think it's literally just 29902. Yep, 29902. And 3 are set. A recog light. Recog light is on. Pressurization is checked. No smoking. And fast seatbelt sign is on. Passenger brief, and we don't got a pack, so it's fine. So I'm gonna grab our landing speeds through here. Speeds, weight, we're at 14.7, we'll round it up. 27 and 30. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna just grab it from the QRH, our landing speed there. Figure it's a little easier. R2, that is our transition is complete. What's this bleed valve test? What's the temperature down on the ground? 75. Looks good, yeah. Feet a minute there. Looks good. Alright, that is set. We need to be at 11,000, 11,000. There we go. So we're going to be hitting 11 here in 250 knots. So we're going to start slowing that down there for 250. Should make that though. 11,000. I need to increase that descent a little bit there to make that. Speed is on. Going for 11,000. We're going to go ahead and get a bit of that last bit of fuel pumped. To our tank here. We'll be down at 11. To go. There it is. Now we're level at 11. And 250 knots. Looking good here. Beautiful weather. Shouldn't be too bad. Be a nice landing. slight adjustment. There's naval we're at. Now it's going to be down to 4,000. 4,000. We're aiming for 1,500 feet a minute. There it is. Pitching that down. Out select. There it is. And it's on. Get power back a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and run our approach briefing. Alright, so we are flying the RNAV, the GPS Zulu runway 20 from Truett. Let's get this. I want to get into this mode. We shouldn't have any issues reaching that 4,000 there. So we're going to be doing it from Truett. That's our initial fix. And then we got MS. Minimums are, I think we're just LPV. I think we can only do LPV. I don't think we can do LNAV, VNAV. I don't think the approach, I don't think we get glide slope guidance on these in the Learjet. I need to check that. So, minimums are going to be 2, or just, excuse me, it would just be LNAV, so 512 is our minimums. Okay. That is all set. Richmond traffic, start check 18 is approximately 23 miles to the south of the field at 7,100 for 4,000. Going to be planning the RNAV Zulu runway 20, Richmond. (1,200 feet a minute). Vertical speed. And then after this arrival, it's going to be a 4-1 on the horse. 4-1 with the heading 41. There we go. And then after that, we should be able to just get direct going. 1,000 to go. And then as soon as we get here, we should be good to get a direct to there. All right. And I'm gonna go head mode. And I want a direct activate. There we go. And I want nav. There we go. Lateral navigation is good. Awesome. And we do actually get a glide slope. That's awesome. I can actually arm that, and then I can also pop a lower altitude down to 2,000. Initial fix 2,000 feet. We can get that going down here in a minute. We're gonna get down to 210 on the speed. Okay, circuit breakers, approach checklist, circuit breakers in, hydraulics and emergency pressure. Hydraulics and emergency air is good. Landing data is set. Fuel balance. Oh, we can go ahead and flip that off. Yep, we're good. We got all that over. Nice. Okay, we'll put back to total. Approach briefing is complete. Position lights. Indicator bleed test. Go with that. Not too concerned. And then we got our before landing checklist. Alright, so we got before land checklist, and then I think we got after landing, exiting runway. Yep, awesome. Okay. We're gonna start down to 2,000. I'll select. Speed. There we go. All right, got the headset off now. We're gonna focus on flying it. All right. We are looking pretty solid. Okay. 1,000 feet to go. There it is, 1,000 to go. The slope is armed. So we can do the minimums of Now we're just gonna get that speed up a little bit. We're 13 miles out. Next will be 204 on the course, so we'll go ahead and pre-select that. 204 is set. Quite windy. We should have a headwind though. It's 200 at 18, gust in 23. But should be fine. Should be a headwind crosswind, which is good because that's a pretty good amount of wind. 204. Yep. All right. We're gonna reset this to our go around out our minimums. And we're going to start slowing it down. Richmond traffic. Start check 18 is on a 10 mile final, runway 20, Richmond. Alright, start getting that slow. We'll get the reversers armed. There's 200. We'll go ahead and get our first notch of flaps coming in. We'll go ahead and get our landing lights on. Do I have a view for it? Yes, I do. Awesome. Smoking all that is good. Okay. And we can get flaps 20. You're down. Alright, gear is down. Flaps full. Richmond traffic, start check 18 is on a 5 mile final, runway 20, Richmond. Alright, before landing checklist, we're gonna a little slow down. Captured. Alright. We're gonna go, ignitions are on. Alright, before landing, spoilers, flaps 20, we're down at flaps full now. Landing gear is down, 3 green. Anti-skid is armed, landing lights are on, engine sync is off, thrust reversers are armed, flaps are down. Hydraulic pressures are checked, ignitions are on, autopilot. That stuff too good. Are at. Go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. There we go. I'm gonna re-engage that, and I'll disengage it prior to flare. Try and arrest that descent right there. Try to get that to come back up. Richmond traffic, start check 18 on short final runway 20, Richmond. Minimums continue. Go bounce there, spoilers. Two in reverse. I forgot to disengage the yaw damper. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and get that nose wheel steering connected there. Alright guys, welcome to Richmond. We're going to go ahead and vacate right. Alright, after landing, checklist. We're going to go ahead and do that once we clear the runway. Make a right turn here and we'll follow all the way down. So, let's get our ignitions off. Stall warnings, pitot. Flaps can come up. Alright, and then we'll run the checklist here. Stall warning off, ignition off, thrust reversers. I need to hit those as well. Cabin air is off. That on the anti-ice system. Pitot heat and alcohol is off. Defog cells are all off. Lights. We'll go ahead and hit the... Dang it. Come on. There we go. Got that, and then we'll go ahead and get these on our taxi. In Richmond traffic, start check 18 is clear of runway 20, taxiing to the jet center via uniform. There we go, we'll go ahead and get that, keep that off. Alright, lights. Alright, one throttle lever. We could choose to do a cutoff, but I only have one functional throttle lever on my hardware, so we won't do that. Spoilers are retracted. Hydraulic pump pressure is good. Unnecessary avionics off. So we're gonna go autopilot, radio altimeter, our off transponder on. Now it will be this turn here. Alright. Parking brake is set. Alright, shutdown checklist, parking brake. Shocks are set, anti-ice system is off, emergency lights, we do not have avionics. We'll go ahead and go standby off, and avionics are off. And by gyro, cage. Emergency battery ice shot is thrust levers. Cut off generator switches off. Inverters are off. Fuel transfer is off. Crossflow valve is closed. Beacon light off. Nav light is off. And batteries are off. There we go. Put this down. That's not what I wanted. I want to lower. Can't find the click spot to lower this. That's alright. We'll do it through here. There we go. Doors open. Cargo netting is off. Disconnect from the network there. Alright, that was a very nice flight. Everything there is good. Okay. Go ahead and put the chocks on. That's if I can get them to work. Yeah, I can't. Alright, that's fine. Well, there we go. First flight in 2024 on stream. Went great in the Lear. Fun airplane to fly. Overall, pretty good flight, I think. Let's see if we can get our chocks to work, though. I don't know why they won't work. Don't know. Either way. Yeah, great flight. Great airplane. Definitely fly it more. I got some other things we might need to bring out for a spin. I can actually show what I got. End flight. I got the 737s. Some of them. Got the 700, the 800s, and I got the Max, of course. Got the L1011. I need to bring that out. And then I got the MD-80 and stuff, so got some options we definitely can try out next time. Also got the ERJs, which are fun airplanes. CRJ, of course, 727. There is a bit of fun. But yeah, definitely was a great little flight here in 2024. Seems to run quite well on stream, so we'll definitely do more flights in 2024. But I think we're gonna go ahead